Welcome to Parenting Teens with Dr. Cam, where we tackle the challenges of raising teenagers without the drama. I'm your host, Dr. Cam. Let's get on with the show. Hello, parents. Dr. Cam here. Today's topic hits close to home, and for many of us parents, helping our teens overcome adversity is incredibly important. We're talking about social anxieties, academic pressures, the ever-complex world of friendships, you name it. To navigate this crucial stage, I'm excited to welcome Jessie LeBeau, a highly sought-after youth motivational speaker and teen coach. With a proven methods and an inspiring underdog story, Jessie has transformed the lives of over 1 million teenagers. He's here to share his powerful approach, the attitude advantage, to equip our teens with the tools they need to conquer obstacles and thrive. Jessie, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start at the beginning because everyone loves an underdog story. Can you share it with us?
Yeah. So I grew up on a little island in Alaska called Pennock Island. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think just about anybody has. And on Pennock, there's like maybe 30, 40 homes and no roads, no stores. And so we just had a little house over there that was surrounded by the woods, wild animals, all that. And so every day just to get to school, my family had to jump in a little boat, and it was called an open skiff, and we'd take it across to town. And so town to us was like, okay, we're going to the city, the big city here. And it was one road going left, one road going right, 15 miles of road in the city parts, and then a fence on either end. So you're trapped there. So there's nowhere to go. There's not a lot to do. In Alaska in the winter, it's dark almost all of the time. So you go to school, it's dark. You get out of school, it's dark. And then to make it even more fun, it rains 13 feet a year. So 3 times the amount of Seattle, 2 out of every 3 days, it's raining. So for all of those just environmental reasons, there's a lot of problems with alcohol and depression and suicide
I bet.
and all of these things in our little community.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really the thing that I struggled with, though. What I struggled with was that I felt like I was trapped in this little place, isolated, and that I didn't have the opportunity to go and do what I wanted to do with my life. And the thing that I always wanted to do was be a basketball player, like my older brother. So I wanted to go to college, I wanted to get a scholarship, and I eventually wanted to get paid to play basketball. And there was one major problem, and you can't tell because I'm sitting down right now, but I was then, and I still am, the smallest person of all the kids in my grade. Smaller than the boys, smaller than the girls. The nicknames were Baby J and Jimmy Neutron. That's what they called me growing up. So people were very, very vocal about letting me know that I wasn't big enough, I wasn't fast enough, I wasn't strong enough, and I just was not going to be good enough to make it as a basketball player. So
I'm sure that felt great hearing all that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that was just my reality. Kids can be very, very cruel. And it led me to kind of have a moment where I got bullied. And I really thought about it. I was like, I have 2 choices right now. I can listen to all these people, all the external noise, everything that people are telling me I can't do. And I could kind of just walk away with my tail between my legs and never live the life that I want to live. Or I can say, you know what? I'm going to show you. And I chose the latter. I said, I'm not going to get bitter. I'm going to get better. And I'm going to become the best basketball player I possibly can become. And so I started waking up early every day. There's this basketball player called Pistol Pete Maravich, and he had a movie called The Pistol. It was basically him growing up in the country, and he was always carrying this basketball around, spinning it on his finger. He'd be walking on the train tracks and dribbling. Like he was just a maniac with the basketball. And so I patterned my life after this guy, and I did like the Alaska version of that. So like in the snow and out the car window while my dad was driving and up and down the ramps. And people thought I was nuts. People thought I was crazy. They made fun of me for that too. But
You're like Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky style and just no hitting the meat. But I realized if I wasted all my time worrying about what everyone else thought, I'd never get what I wanted out of my own life. And so that persistence and tenacity and hard work paid off. And I got to go to college and get a scholarship. I had a really awesome, fun high school career. And then I broke into entertainment and got to be in commercials with my very first one was with Kobe Bryant.
Nice.
I did movies with Kevin Durant and TV shows, traveled all over the world, played basketball professionally with Allen Iverson. I got to spend a day being hand-fed cheeseburgers by supermodel Heidi Klum. All of
Oh,
these,
that must have stunk.
yeah, it was a tough day on the job. And it was all because of basketball. That's what opened the door for all of those things. And truthfully, a lot of the reasons why I got the jobs was because they did not expect me to be able to do what I could do with the basketball because I don't pass what they call the look test. So
Yeah.
literally, they would be like, "You're at the wrong. This is a basketball audition," and I'd be like, "Oh, I learned to like lean into it. I'm like, oh, well, I'm here anyways. Why don't we just do it?" And then I go out there and I do all the tricks and I kind of school everybody and bounce it between their legs. And had this extra shock factor, like Eminem when he raps or something like that, you know. And so that actually, the thing that was considered kind of my weakness became the thing that made me stand out and my strength when I shift and saw it that way. So it was such a good learning lesson and led me to get a microphone just kind of put in my hand because I was in front of so many kids in all these games I was playing in schools all over the country and the world. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing now. So I used basketball. Just yesterday, I got back from South Dakota, and I've been doing this for a decade now. And I go in there, and they don't expect it, and all of a sudden, I'm doing tricks and bringing them up on stage and spinning it
That's
on their finger
amazing.
and capture their attention, and then I could share an underdog story. And I've learned that almost everyone considers themselves an underdog if you really ask them.
Absolutely. And I think the teenagers especially are bombarded now with so much comparison, and they feel like if one person is better than them, that makes them bad. Like you can't have multiple good people. It's like there's always someone better than them. And so I see a lot of kids that are really defeated, and feeling like I'm not going to be good enough, so why bother? Or I don't know, if I try and fail, that's going to be really embarrassing. So it's very frustrating as parents because we want them to like live into their potential, but we don't seem to be able to say the right thing to encourage them. We get an eye roll and you have to say that. Um, we also see them wanting to be basketball players when they're really short and going, do we want them to go off on this trail that they're likely to fail in? Or do we? So help us parents learn how to best support our kids, no matter what their dreams are, so that they feel like they can become tenacious like you are.
Yeah, and that's a tricky one because I think about it a lot because people will ask, is it something that you're born with, that ability to be resilient and have tenacity, or is it something that you develop? And I think can be a combination and a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you this kind of an interesting thing happened because I go and I speak to a lot of kids and I've been doing it a long time. They come and talk to me after all these talks. So I
Mhm.
finish and then they want to go up and share their underdog or what they're going through or what their big dream or goal is, right? So after doing it for so long, what happened is I started to hear patterns. And about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I started to hear the same thing over and over again, no matter where I was in the country, no matter if it was rich, poor, in the city, in the country. And it was kids are struggling with their mental health.
Yes.
Mental health, mental health, mental health, way before the pandemic came along, and in my
Mhm.
opinion, made it 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times worse.
Yeah.
And so after hearing it so many times, it was like, okay, we got to look into this thing because clearly there's a problem. I didn't have to be a rocket scientist or too smart to see, hey, there's something going on here with this mental health thing.
Yeah.
And what we saw from all the research, all the data, was that if we could improve a teenager's self esteem, if we could improve their confidence, it made all the difference because it spilled into every other area of their life. So if you're talking to the kids and parents that you work with, whether it's bullying, whether it's their anxiety, their stress, depression, self harm, their ability to believe in themselves and want to actually take action, like you're saying, and chase their goal and chase their dream, the kids that genuinely love themselves, and I know it
Mm.
sounds cliche, but genuinely like who they are and believe in themselves, they're less likely to care what their peers think about them, whether
Yeah.
it's in person or today on these stupid smartphones,
Yeah.
and they're more likely to be a leader and less likely to be a follower. And I think
Yeah.
every parent wants their kid to be a leader. And so the thing about confidence is, unfortunately, you can't give it to them, no matter
Mm.
how much you love them as a mom, as a dad, as a mentor, as an uncle, as an aunt. That is awesome and good and well, but you can't give it to them. A coach can't give it to them. A therapist can't give it to them. They have to earn it. And the
Yeah.
only way they can earn it is by starting to accumulate small wins and building up a stack of undeniable proof. So that way, when the kids go and say those things and tell them that they're not good enough to be a basketball player, in fact, the only thing that they're going to be able to do is be a pony rider and ride ponies when they grow up. Maybe I'm speaking to my personal bully story that I skipped over earlier. That they go, you know what? I know that I can do this. I know that I have the proof. I've built this up. And usually it starts with these small wins over time.
Mm.
But I agree with you. It is difficult. We have kids in our program that literally have a beautiful singing voice and they go, I think I quit. I'm not going to do this
Yeah.
because I'll never be as good as Taylor Swift. So
Yeah.
they're comparing their day one to the day, 9,000 of the most famous, successful current music artist in the world. And I blame a lot of that on social media and their phone. So that would be the other big thing, just on this topic that you're asking how. Jonathan Haidt just came out with a new book, the most up-to-date research. He is the thought leader in this space, and he has 4 rules, and like it's all around their phone. So no
Mm.
smartphone until they hit high school, till 14. No social media until 16. No phones in the school environment, and more free play, I think, is the 4th one. I'm a little sleep deprived, so we might
Yeah.
have to Google fact check that one.
Right.
But almost every call that I have with a parent, and I do dozens of them every single week, I can hear what they're saying. And 10 minutes into it, I can already know what the kid's relationship with their phone is. And
Yeah.
it's not a good one. And it's affecting their ability of how they see the world, how they see themselves, and their expectations. And guess what? Me as an adult, I had to do the same thing because I was looking around and like, how come that person has millions of followers? And how come they're making millions of dollars? And how come they
Yeah.
got the TV show? I work harder. I'm better at this than them. I'm better looking. I'm funnier, all these things. And they're getting all the success and I don't. I completely removed myself, unfollowed everyone.
Mm.
Did I lose? I lost friends in the process because
Mm.
people take that very serious. But I
Yeah.
realized those weren't my real friends because I would go to them when they FaceTime me upset and go, yeah, it was having a real negative effect in my life. And I was
Mm.
comparing myself to other people and I was wasting time that I could be spending with family and loved ones and relationships. And actually, the impact that I've seen in my life has been so incredible. And now I'm talking about it to kids and I'm actually walking the walk that I'm doing. And if you say that to
Mm.
someone and they're still mad because they lost a follower because of their weird world that they live in, then that's not someone that I want in my world anyways, unfortunately.
Right.
So that's been my experience with kids and families. And then in my own life, what a positive impact that it's had as well.
I love that. So we're as parents too, and I know we can't like give them confidence, and I know we're up against things like social media, which as much as we'd like it to disappear, it's not going to. And I know that a lot of kids are very ingrained in it, and that's kind of their social world too. So how can we as parents help them kind of build those small wins to build their confidence up? Because I know we can't hand it to them, but we can create an environment where they have the opportunity for it, correct?
Yeah, what you need to do as a parent, in my opinion, and anyone who says they have the answers run the other way because they're probably trying to get you to join a cult. But parents should prepare their kid for the road ahead instead
Yeah.
of running in front of their kid and preparing the road for their kid.
Yeah.
And this is a tough one because parents are doing the wrong things with the best of intentions.
Yeah.
Your kid needs to fail. Your kid needs to struggle. Your kid needs to be out of their comfort zone because guess what? That's what life is all about. We talk to parents and it's like, well, yeah, I don't think they want to do this. And I don't think that that's something that they're going to want to do. Good. Do you know how many things that I don't want to do that I do every single day because it's part of
Yeah.
being an adult human being on this earth? I get up at a time that I don't particularly like getting up. And before that, I go to bed at a time that I don't like going to bed at. I go and exercise and do things to push my body that's uncomfortable and isn't enjoyable during the time. The drinks that I put in my body in the first thing in the morning don't particularly taste great, but they're good for me. I have to go through every single day doing things that I don't like to do because that's what it requires to be happy, successful, and fulfilled in your life. So I kind of want to rewind to something you said that about social media isn't going anywhere.
Hmm.
You're right. I don't think it's going anywhere. Either is crack cocaine,
Mm.
either is kids that are self-harming themselves, either is people who are robbing stores and banks. But only when it comes to social media do I see this rationale. The old expression when we were kids, right, was if everyone else was jumping off a bridge, would
Right.
you jump off a bridge? And
Yeah.
today, that same question is being asked. Well, everyone else is on social media. So we go as parents, oh, well, I guess I don't want my kid to be the weird kid. Let your kid be the weird kid. Otherwise, your kid is going to be having all the same problems that these kids are having at an astronomical level that the world has never seen. Self-harm, the suicides, the stress, the anxiety. These kids can't even get out of the car and go into school because they're so scared to be around other kids their age. They can't even have a conversation with the barista
Hmm.
at Starbucks. So you can start having hard conversations now and doing what is best for them, or you're going to have a lot more difficult, harder conversations in the future because you gave into the easy thing because you didn't want to do something that was hard and uncomfortable for you early as a parent. Because guess what? Handing your kid a phone, or even when they're younger, handing them an iPad is the easy way out. And I get it. It is something that gives you a break. It gives you some time that you can actually not feel stressed out and like you have to be entertaining the whole time. But I'm telling you, you don't have to be an expert to look around and see that these phones are absolutely destroying these kids' lives today. And you can either make a decision that's best for them now, or you're going to have a lot harder conversations that I guarantee are a lot worse than having some confrontation now on the front end.
So, from what I'm hearing from you, the one and only culprit of having low self esteem and low resilience is our phones.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
That's just the one that I didn't agree with you on, so I wanted to push back on you a little bit of
Okay.
what you're saying.
No, I hear.
No,
Okay.
absolutely. I think you're right on with the comparison to others, but how did you compare yourself to others when you were growing up? Maybe you saw it on TV, maybe you saw it in a magazine. Now, 24/7, you're watching other people's highlight reels. So this
Right.
is the biggest culprit. So I think it's the most important thing to talk about today. But to answer your question super directly about how do you accumulate these small wins,
Hmm.
you have to find out what those are, and it's different for every kid. So for one kid, he might be super smart and he doesn't have to study. So if you go, wow, way to get an A, like you're so smart, you're doing amazing, that really doesn't benefit them because they didn't have to work for it. So it's what are
Yeah.
the things that are difficult? And most kids, all things don't come easy for us. So you can find them pretty good. So maybe they're really good in the classroom. Well, then from there, the thing might be, yeah, but socially, they're not very good and they stay withdrawn. And
Mm.
again, maybe they hide behind their cell phone because they can just pop in their AirPods and then they
Yeah.
don't even have to make eye contact or have conversations. So with a kid like that, it might be, hey, let's push yourself to sit with a new friend and talk to them at lunch, or invite a kid from school to come and hang out over the weekend and do something, or to go out for a sports team, which is totally out of their comfort zone. So finding the thing that they're uncomfortable and they don't want to do, and
Hmm.
usually that's the thing that they need to do the most. But again, this goes back to the earlier point of preparing them for the road and not
Yeah.
running ahead of them and clearing off the road and smoothing it out. You have to have them not bubble wrapped so that they can go out and
Right.
actually have grit and have resilience. So it varies case to case, but it could be something just as small as like, hey, studying and you're going to get a 70% on this test. And then praising the effort, not praising the outcome, but praising the effort. And
Yeah.
whether it's a kid that is kind of mediocre and struggling, that helps them 10x, and also the kids that are overachievers and things come naturally to, praising the effort and not the outcome also significantly impacts them in a positive way.
So one thing I hear from parents too is, well, they didn't really make an effort. So I don't know what to look at. So what if we've got a kid who is not motivated to do well in school, which there's a lot of them, and is not putting in a lot of effort towards school? How do we start building up their resilience to try to help them build this ability to push through the pain of doing things for a bigger reason down the road?
Yeah, that's a big one I see too with a lot of parents. And it really is the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's such a tough one because as much as you may want it, as much as mom and dad may want it, as much as a coach may want it, all of that's great. But the kid has to want it for themselves. So they either have to hit a point where they're unhappy in their life. And I don't want to say necessarily a rock bottom because I don't want that for anybody. But for so
Yeah.
many people, how many of the stories that you've heard of people that have gone on and had the most success that we all look up to as these experts and thought leaders and gurus were at an absolute low point? They got strung out on drugs. They lost their last dollar. They were living on the street and then they bounced back. So obviously we don't want that for our kids and we want to get to them before that. But sometimes it comes to that point where they feel like they have no friends or they feel like they are hopeless and they don't know what they want to do with their life. And I think part of it is kids have it too easy today and they
Mm.
need to struggle a little bit. And so you can't just hand them everything and make life so easy. For a lot of kids, they're having complete meltdowns and literally harming themselves because they didn't get enough likes on Instagram
Yeah.
or because they're in a place for the weekend where they don't have Wi-Fi. Like
Mhm.
these are the problems. And it really takes empathy from I feel like from people from our generation because we're like, your life is so easy. You
Mm.
literally, your favorite food when you ask a kid today, a lot of times it'll be like, oh, sushi. Sushi
Yeah.
is my favorite food. It's like, I didn't have sushi till I was probably like 24 years old. And now a 6 year old, that's their favorite food. So we have to stop making life so easy for them and then also get them something that they're excited about so they have the passion. And guess what? Like having a passion for social media or their phone or watching YouTube videos isn't going to be something that they can actually wake up excited about each day. Of sure, there's the 1% of the 1% that go on to make a career and a living, like me, wanting to be in the NBA. Wasn't in the cards, not realistic. I could practice every day my whole entire life. I'm not big enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not strong enough. I didn't win the genetic lottery. But you can always tweak your dream and still involve your thing that you love, in this case basketball, and do something else. And it could be a coach, it could be a referee, it could be a trainer, it could be being an announcer at a game. Or what I've done is I use basketball still to go talk and inspire kids with my story and entertain them. So there's all these different options, but if a kid is really lacking motivation, I think that's pretty understandable if they don't have anything that they're excited about in their life. And another layer to that is once they find that thing that they are passionate about, most people call their purpose or their why, find a group of friends that also share that same thing that they can hang out with in person, not through
Yeah.
the screen, not in a Facebook group, not on Snapchat, but literally in person because it's hardwired in our DNA since the beginning of time for us to be a part of a tribe. And so
Yeah.
they need that in-person connection. And that's another one. Do you hear like kids are lonely today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very. Yep.
it's an epidemic. I hear it
Oh, it is.
literally every single
Yeah.
week. And it's because they aren't hanging out in person with kids that they can, fist bump, give a hug, high five, look
Yeah.
in their eyes, see that they actually are cared about, see that people actually enjoy being around them. And guess what? All these kids that are like afraid to do that, when they actually get out there and they do it, even if they're an introvert, if they do it within a certain, amount of time, they're like, that was actually really fun. And I really enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
hear that 9 times out of 10. And so instead of being like, oh, my kid's not fitting at school and having a hard time, I guess I'll just homeschool them now and protect them. That's not preparing them for the road ahead. And it's doing a disservice to them, even though you have the best of intentions and the right of intentions. And of course, I'm speaking in generalities, and there's awesome incidents where kids have done homeschool and it's been awesome for them and their family. That's a
Mhm.
personal choice. I would never tell you what to do, but you have to really look at it of why am I doing this and make
Yeah.
the best decision. And I think most parents, particularly moms, have a great gut instinct for what the right thing is to do.
Yeah, I love that. So, Jesse, what is one thing that you really want parents to walk away with from this episode that you think is really important in helping their kids face adversity?
I think they need to invest in a mentor. And I'll
Mm,
tell you why. It's something that you said earlier. Teenagers, even the ones that are the best of kids that you have a good relationship with, which is rare as a teenager, right? It's part of their job to push the boundaries, right? It's
yeah,
part of their job to see what's going on and see what they can get away with. Even the best of kids just don't want to hear it from mom and dad. Like you
right.
said, it's in one ear and out the other.
Yep.
And so that's how this whole thing got started with us, is so many parents started coming to us, and I can go and say the same thing to your kid. You can go say the same thing to their kid, but just because it's not mom and it's not dad, it is received totally different. Now,
Yeah.
if it's someone that they're like, I've seen you on TV, or I've seen you on social media, that to them is a movie star today. It's really funny. It's totally shifted in the 10 years of me going out into schools. They hear it as it's like the gospel truth
Mm,
of like, oh my gosh, this person is saying that thing. And I can't tell you how many people in my life who are just like an older kid that maybe was on the high school basketball team that I look up to, and they said something to me that had such a deep, profound impact that
yeah.
they never knew they had that impact on my life. And I'm guilty of it in my own life. I've met several people that were like these awesome, cool pro athletes, and they said this thing that I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And I called my mom as an adult, and I'm like, you're not going to believe what this guy said. He said you got to work hard and treat people right. My mom is like,
Yes.
I've been saying that to you your whole life, you dummy. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, this is
Yeah.
exactly that. It's the same message, different messengers. So find someone, whether it's at their local YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, someone like us that works with kids in a professional capacity, and team up with them, and you'll get different results than just trying to be like, oh, my dad's lecturing me again,
Yes.
because it is just part of being a teenager. And so if you are dealing with that as a parent, offer yourself some grace. Know that you aren't alone. Every parent almost is dealing with that. And there are outside solutions, even if it's just through someone you find on YouTube that your kid is like, oh, I want to be a soccer player. This guy's a good role model and a soccer player. Find those outside influences that can help be a part of your team, because it takes a village.
Yeah, I think that's great. Finding a mentor is definitely something that kids it really resonates with them because then they feel heard and seen and have someone to relate to them. Jesse, how do people find you?
Uh, the easiest place, we put this together, and I'm going to remember it. It's theattitudeadvantage.com/welcome. So if you go there, you can find everything, whether it's speaking, teen programs, coaching. We have a free Facebook group that we go live in and put content out each week. So that's the best place to go to find all the things that we're up to.
Fantastic. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you for what you're doing in the world. It's so needed. And I think it's so awesome, the impact that you're having. Keep it up.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Parenting Teens with Dr. Cam. Don't forget to hit follow so you don't miss a single episode, and share the love by passing this on to a friend. Until next time, keep making a positive impact in your teen's life.